Laredo, take us out.
Take her out.
All right. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis, and Sean are your guides on this fun-filled tour. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world tonight.
Woohoo! It is OffWorld. I am here. Sans Detoffs. They are gone. They're out of here. They're working on my floors, so they're all in the kitchen right now. But got some fresh faces in here for 2.0, as well as new full-time OffWorld member, Joe Gonzalez. Joe, how you doing, sir?
Congrats. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not going to say that I deserve it, but
You did.
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely deserve it.
Joe G Live 2.0.
That's right.
Man,
This
right
has now
on.
become Joe Gonzalez Live.
Live.
He's taking over.
Right on. I think the numbers reflect that. So,
Hey, as of right now, we've got more people in the chat than we do on the screen. So we're winning. We are hashtag winning.
I don't know if we can keep that up, but we'll give her a go.
It's probably not going to last. Yeah, a few minutes into this, they're going to be like, "Oh wait, this isn't one of those shows where they have giveaways." All right,
Right.
yeah. And with us tonight, we've got getting ready to make his triumphant return to Saturday Day Live, Ryan Gonzalez. Rygon, how you doing, sir?
I am pretty good. If you can, everybody in the chat, be there tomorrow for Saturday Day Live. It's been a long time.
Mhm.
Can't wait to get back to it.
There you go. We're excited. It's gonna be fun, man. It's been quite a bit. I mean, we still got the Purple Gang on Saturday, so we've got something. But yeah, there's been that little hole there. Been missing that Saturday Day Live, so it'll be nice to have you guys back. So
Can't wait.
it'll be awesome. And we've got a guy who forgot what time the show is because, he just doesn't. He's just that excited tonight. Alexander Deshaw, how you doing, Alexander?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing excellent. No buffering issues. You're looking great, nice and crystal clear.
Got a new router, so hopefully that
Nice.
takes care of it. So.
Nice. Everybody's upgrading their internet nowadays.
That's
So,
that fountain money right there, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We're supposed to have Chris Kelly with us as well. If you saw the promo poster, which I just happen to have right here.
Fucking hilarious, by the way.
So
I lost it.
yeah.
Oh my god.
so we were supposed to have Chris and Greg with us. Now Greg is having he had some obligations today he had to take care of. And so he's not going to make it tonight. Not sure about Chris. Have not heard from him. So he is currently MIA. He may be in an alternate dimension right now, buffering and just can't get in. We are not sure. But obviously the sweetheart of this picture is the new full-time member of OffWorld, Joe Gonzalez. Joe, looking great there, man.
Yeah, I can't say that I've never looked so good because I was Scarlett Johansson like a few days earlier, but
That's true. That's true.
I think that milky white skin looks good on me, so I'll take it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
let's let me pull this down. Let's acknowledge the chat because we do have more people in the chat than on the screen. So we've got Dave working out there. We've got Jordan saying some purple. Purple's great.
Purple.
We've got Rygon, Tanya McCoy. I know we saw Kevin McCoy. We've got Darla Ackerman, Amber Gonzalez, the better of the two Gonzaleses. Slim. It's close. It's close though.
No,
it's really close. You're right behind her. So
she made me buy this new mic stand. It's ridiculous.
Only the best. Only the best. We've got Jeff out there. First time watching. Well, we're sorry and thank you. So yeah,
get your popcorn ready.
Especially with the 2.0 crew here.
Yeah, we've got Kevin. We've got Eddie out there. Van is watching. Let's see. Greg is in the chat, driving to get his food. I think he said he was getting a calzone. So
that calzone on, sir.
Yep. We got JG out there. Mark Rivera. Santos is out there. I'm sorry, Santos. I'm sorry that you're gonna have to experience this. So yeah, appreciate the chat. And then I did see a question from Jeff saying, where does one find Saturday Day Live? Is that the name of the channel? That is not the name of the channel, but you can find it in two spots. One is in the Dork Lair Collector group, and then the other one is on Jonathan Hedgehog's YouTube channel. So two ways to watch. If you're going to watch through Facebook, you want to make sure that you accept the whole Facebook StreamYard thing so they can see your name in the comments. Or you can be like the cool kids and jump on Hedgehog's YouTube because that's really where the fun is. So anything else on that on Saturday Day Live, Ryan, for someone like Jeff that's never checked you guys out?
Well, you got one guy who's groomed and looks put together, and then you have my face.
But we've got you with a new mic stand. So
that's true.
Makes it a little better.
And Eric LeBron is a part of that. He's been on hiatus for a little bit. But it's all in good fun.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I did have on top of the awesome promo pic that we had for this week, had a couple pictures to show off real quick. So that is my DTOF collection sitting in my kitchen right now, with no figures, as well as this table in front here is where I do a lot of my customizing work. There's another picture of my DTOFs, and here's our new floor in our kitchen. So been dealing with that plumbing issue that we had back in December for about 3 months. The plumbing, the actual pipes got fixed about a month ago. And now they're redoing the floor. So the kitchen is now done. We're waiting to do the living room, which is why behind me right now. Oh, oops, wrong one. Because we're all set up for tomorrow. So like half of the room, the flooring has been removed. Actually more, probably about 2/3 of the room, the flooring has been removed, and I'm in the little sliver that still has some flooring. So yeah, so by tomorrow, hopefully our problems will be behind us, and it only cost us a mere $16,000. So yay!
You got super chat money, man. What are you talking about?
Chat money.
Yeah, good stuff. So this is the well, apparently we've got 832 people in the chat and only 831 likes. We pulled them out.
Just need
one. Yeah, I'm just glad. Yeah, I'm just glad that we've got more than 4 people in the chat, so we're good. I think I really do think it's the addition of Joe that brought people in here, especially that couple pictures, the ScarJo one and then the promo photo, and what you've been a couple ladies in the past. You weren't you Baroness once?
Yeah, Baroness a couple times, right?
Yeah. Maybe. And then somebody else. Yeah, you typically look good on our photos. I do you justice for sure.
Well, I think that picture gave people a false sense of what was going to happen tonight. I think that fairly quickly we're going to lose some numbers when people are like, "Wait, nothing's happening."
I mean, it's a long night. I wouldn't say anything's out of the question. So,
well, that depends. I mean, money
we gotta
talks.
break into OffWorld somehow. So, all right. Well, let's go to a toy pickups. We will start with Joe. Joe, what do you got?
Well, my in stock sale figures all came in today, all 4 of them, and I'm not going to show them all off because it would be an obnoxious amount of stuff. That would be the whole show. But
Sure, you're good, Joe. Jeez.
they're good prices, but my retailer exclusive figures, I got my blue Hagnon and Lee J came in today. I already had a Lee J because I couldn't wait. I jumped the gun, but it's such an incredible figure. I ended up ordering 5 of them all together. So
Nice.
That's going to be a lot of fun. There's just so many cool parts to play with. When I opened that first one, I was just like, oh man, I need more. This is neat. Just too much stuff to swap, pop, and swap out. And then this box here has 10 relic guards in it. Because
That's all?
well, I already have one. So I ordered 10 to get to 11, and then part of the fun of collecting is the hunt, right? So I left one slot open, so now I have to track down the last relic guard. So yeah, that was intentional. And then this is in Curtis's honor right here, just because this is OffWorld and we play a mean game sometimes on Oppo. Just for
A bunch of Valiant Knights, huh?
that didn't get one.
Very nice.
So yeah, I got. I'm kidding. I had no idea that anyone had trouble getting them. I just hopped on there and I needed enough to put one with each good faction because that was what was in the bio. So I had grabbed 4 to fill out my ranks. There's a couple more in the back.
Yeah. See, the problem with that, with the whole Relic Knight thing, and now with this Valiant Knight, is that you've now let Jeremy know that whatever he puts in the bio, you've got to buy accordingly. So, I just can't wait to the next wave where he's like, yeah, this character, there's 50 of them in a group together. Yeah.
I'm still not seeing the problem. So, I like collecting these figures. Like this gives me an excuse. So, like when my old lady's like, why did you spend all that money? I'm like,
Jeremy,
bio says,
read it. Come on.
It's
Are
all
you
right
not
here.
up to date with
That's
your
not-
lore?
That's not on me. All angry emails go to Jeremy Gerard at 4 Horsemen Studios.
Very nice. All right. Well, we'll slide Ryan up here. Ryan, what you got this week?
So I got some stuff from ToyCon.
Yeah.
And Tanya, I did tell Amber she could show it. So don't be mad at me. She just wanted to leave me something because she's more popular. I got these from Steph Delator. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
And then I got the I don't know if you can.
Magic effect. Yeah.
And he also had quite a bit of stuff from I'm gonna probably butcher it, Zhao Jing. Got these swords.
Nice.
It came with a set. I already put it with a figure. If I'm gonna knock over my whole display if I reach for it. I did get in the Mezco recovery suit Superman.
And what do you think?
It's not bad, but I think Mayfex would have been better. Only because there's no no restriction in the suit at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still gonna tear.
Yeah, I just can't. I've got a few Mezcos that I really like because they're the sculpted ones. And I actually just ordered from somebody the Donatello from the Turtles 4-pack.
Yeah.
Like the ones that they actually do this like sculpting on, I love. The ones where they do like the full stretchy, soft goods. I don't know, man. It looks like pajamas to me. I can't do it, but
It kind of reminds me of Amigo. Like this
yeah,
would be
exactly.
Amigo, just a bigger scale. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
And the last
it looks
thing,
it looks like a Migo figure with 2 watch bands on his shoulders.
essentially, I didn't know what the hell that was. I was like, I don't remember that. This is probably my favorite pickup. I got the Jada Toys Chester
Nice.
Cheeto.
And does the one question I had with that was like with the big feet and stuff, like is he hold a good pose?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all very articulated, and yeah, that's cool. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put him down.
That's cool.
He's got a big ass head. I was worried that the head was gonna weigh too much, but
Yeah.
I was messing with him and he's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely jealous of those Steph pickups because I saw his little weapons and stuff, and they look so freaking good. Yeah.
$10.
That's awesome. Yeah. I saw his table where he had like some different characters like holding that, and I was like, man, that's just badass. So Tanya says that the box for that cheetah is awesome. So I've not seen the box, but apparently it's cool.
In the other room.
All right. And Alexander, what do you got for us?
I only got one thing. I forgot to grab it. Hold on. It's right here. But there's a local toy show last weekend, and he's got tentacles falling off of him. But Independence Day Alien,
dude,
nice,
is not in there. But this will be going on a fountain of sorts.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, we're gonna try to figure out something with it, but that's all I got this week.
Very nice. Well, I think we're gonna throw Ryan back up because it looks like somebody brought in the box. Ooh, nice.
It's got a nice little magnetic opening.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like that packaging.
Even got cool. The nutritional action figure facts.
And how nutritional is he? Is he good?
Alternate head 1, hand 2, Cheeto 1, bag 1, collector quality paint 100%, collector quality sculpt 100%, 20 points of articulation.
I wonder how much one Cheeto is on the percentage of your daily allowance, though. That's what I don't know.
I'm just going to say that you could probably eat the plastic one and not notice a huge difference. So
probably.
All right. Well, let me go my pickups for the week. So I got a notification from Hasbro Pulse that some of my pre-orders were shipping. These are my first pre-orders from them since I got into the Joe line. So I got the big boa. Yeah,
he's like the biggest Joe they've made so far.
He's pretty big. I would say Gung Ho, the retro card Gung Ho, was probably the biggest I've seen. And then Quick Kick.
Nice.
So yeah, he's awesome, man. I love him. He even comes with his little chocolate bar from the commercials that he was filming. So yeah, he had a bunch of weapons and stuff too. He's got his swords and nunchucks and all that kind of stuff. And then I got this Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figure, which I don't collect the Mortal Kombat line. I didn't really play it too much as a kid. But let me just show you the verse because I really just got it for the throne. I saw the pictures on Facebook on the Cabal with Azahazar sitting in this, and it just looked badass. I was like, I got to get this thing. And I tried to find one that just like the throne itself online on eBay, and nobody was selling just the throne. So I bought it from Big Bad Toy Store. Darla's watching, but it was $150. Don't tell her. But really just for this throne. So
The badass throne.
yeah, hopefully she's listening to something else, like listening to music while it's going on. But then it also comes up with this figure. And I will say, like, I don't care anything about the Mortal Kombat figure. Oh shit, just popped his torso off. I did not snap that like a Silverhawk, just in case anybody was wondering. That just popped off on its own. But anyways, I don't really care about the figure, but he's got great articulation. Really nice figure. And what I'm probably going to do is steal a bunch of stuff from him, because like if you pop off his hand, like he's got like this like wrist gauntlet with like straps on the back. Like that would be cool for like, let's say Tharnog, maybe. He's got these pauldrons that are all like, it's got this like crisscross strap that comes off. That would be good for probably a brute scale character. He's got a helmet, which I just dropped, that would probably be good for like a 1.0 orc or something. His feet, I already checked out. He's got these sandaled feet, and they pop off and have a port very similar to the Mythic Legions. So I'm thinking that I could probably use those feet on a brute scale figure, as well as these like shin guards that I could peel off. So he's got a lot of different fodder, and I doubt too many people are buying this for $150 just to use for fodder, but that's what I'm going to do, because I just wanted the throne. So
I was waiting for chat. I can't believe nobody made a fatality joke about you breaking him in half. But,
oh, shoot, Darla heard.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you got your couch right there.
Yeah,
to sleep on tonight.
It is a cool throne though, and it fits absolutely perfectly in a DTOF. Like I was worried, like we pulled it out of the box, and Darla's like, I don't think those horns are going to fit in the DTOF cube, and it was absolutely perfect side to side. So if you've got DTOFs and you want a cool display,
what's that dimension again? I should probably write that down.
What's that now?
I said, what's that dimension again? I probably should write that down.
It fits better than a stable. Is that what
exactly.
we're saying?
Normally, I would say that it's like, because there's like poles in there. So normally you don't want to go more than like 14 and a half inches. But this was almost 16 from horn to horn. But it fits in there because if there's a little give to this too. So like these horns can kind of flex a little bit. But yeah, it fit right in there. And it's just a beautiful display piece. Not sure about this base. So let me just pull this off because this comes off. So this base is kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure about the paint job on there. So I might repaint this and just make it kind of stone looking. But the throne itself is just super cool. And it's got like these skulls with like actual like metal chains and stuff. So yeah, this is badass. I really like this piece. So,
that's awesome. Good pickup.
Very cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Those are my pickups for the week. I did get one of my 4 in stock orders is actually the last one that I placed, which was only 6 deluxe barbarians. Because I was looking at it towards the end of the sale and I was like, man, it's got a bunch of parts that I kind of want. So I got that one in, but I didn't get my main orders that I placed yet. So we'll see. I'm sure, they've got plenty of orders that they're still packing up and sending out. It's just kind of disappointing that the guy in Nevada got all 4 of his orders and I'm half that distance away and I've only got 1. So, but whatever.
Maybe they're doing them alphabetically.
Yeah. Darla says, look at Buddy behind you on the couch. Yes, he is. There's my dog on the couch, just relaxing. Yeah, you're just chilling, huh? Normally the couch is on that side of the room, but we had to clear that side of the room for the flooring. So there you go.
What's up, Steph?
Jeff says, is this your wife is going to kill you? Could be. Never know.
If we're looking for another person next week.
Rosie says hi to Buddy. So there you go. And I'm guessing Steph is talking about Buddy. I don't know. He's a dog, half Corgi, half Rhodesian Ridgeback. So Amber says he's cute. And we got a lot of comments tonight. A lot of people in here.
All because
all right. Yeah, Buddy. He is Buddy. And Kevin made it to live show, and Jesse isn't here yet to ban him. So good job, Kevin.
Oh man,
yeah, good timing.
Hammer.
All right, with that, we'll go to our next part of the show, which is a segment we're calling Event Horizon, which is we're talking about stuff that we're excited for that's coming out. Could be toy lines, shows, movies, whatever. So I'll start with Joe, because I think, Joe, you sent one to our chat for this week, right, on a new series coming out.
Yes, sir. Did you watch it?
I did.
Hey, right on. Okay. Fallout, the Fallout TV show on Amazon Prime, dropping April 11th.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite video game series is being made into a show that, I think with a lot of these shows, you don't want to get your hopes up, but man, it looks cool. It looks good. I've watched 2 trailers for it so far, and it looks like they're staying true to the lore. It's got a great look. That Jeff Bezos money must be paying some dividends there, because all the special effects look fantastic. So I am super looking forward to that. So if you're looking for something to watch, April 11th, Fallout drops. Check it out. Let us know what you think on the next episode of OffWorld, because I'm excited to get people's opinions on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge gamer, so I've played a little, here and there, and I used to play a lot of like sports games and stuff, and I got into Baldur's Gate 3 last year and played quite a bit of that, but I don't really play a ton of video games. But I've really enjoyed the series lately that we've had from them. So, Last of Us was one that I had, no frame of reference to. I had no idea of what was going on. And I really enjoyed that series. Joe here is a huge Halo fan, got me hooked on the Halo series. And that one was and that one, they just finished their 2nd season, which was phenomenal. I'm loving that one. And I checked out the trailer for this Fallout, and yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, I had no idea of any of the backstory. I didn't play the game. But like I said, all of these video game ones that they've been turning into series so far have been hit after hit. So if it's half as good as the trailer looked, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So
yeah, and I think it's the same thing as with the superhero movies. I remember the old superhero. Any property that they take seriously, they can make a good movie or series from. I remember watching the old Captain American movie from the 80s, and boy, what a stink fest. It was bad.
Yeah.
They I don't know. They wrote it like a cartoon from the 70s and tried to make it into a movie, and it just doesn't work. But I think that's what they're figuring out with these video games. Like they're mature, they're mature video games. You're targeting a mature audience. Let's make a quality, mature show. Like Halo couldn't be made for kids. It's a war story.
Yeah.
But
and you realize that in the first episode when they actually like blow up some kids, and you have like kid debris like flying everywhere, and you're like, oh, okay, this is one of those shows.
Right.
Yeah.
And the first trailer for Fallout, there's a woman shooting a machine gun that has a fork stuck in her eye. And that they're staying true to the lore, and I think they're going to hit their target audience by taking it seriously. So yeah,
okay,
it's definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Ryan, Alexander, either of you see the trailer, and do you have any background with Fallout. What are your thoughts on that series?
Looks amazing. I played 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I started playing 76, and it almost looks like you're watching the video game, really. So it looks amazing.
Cool.
So I did not watch the trailer because I'm a big piece of shit. I have never played Fallout, so I am unfamiliar.
I'm
Okay.
excited to see if what they put into it, like the little Easter eggs and all that. So
Yeah, you're in for a ride, Ryan, for sure.
Joe, just for folks that maybe haven't seen the trailer and maybe haven't played the game, can you give us just like a quick synopsis of what the Fallout world is about?
Yeah, basically, there's a divergence from the real world following World War II. So World War II ends with the atomic bombs being dropped. They take that technology and advance with it, and so using nuclear power, they're able to make nuclear powered cars, robots, high fantasy kind of or science fiction type setting, but the aesthetic never changes. So it's still like a 1950s aesthetic with the cars and refrigerators, like the houses, everything keeps that 1950s look, even though time keeps progressing. And in the 2070s, in the lore of the games, there starts a resource war. They start to run. It just, everybody is so hung up on consumption because life is so good that they start running out of natural resources. So war starts up because of the lack of natural resources, and nobody knows for sure in the lore of the games who shot the bombs first, but China and the United States exchange nuclear warheads. Well, before this, there's a company called Vault-Tec that built these big underground vaults so that people had somewhere to go if any nuclear war did happen. So it looks like in the show, the main character is going to be a person from these vaults. So they've been living underground. But Vault-Tec was not benevolent. And a lot of the vaults actually are social experiments. So they did really messed up things to people in the vaults. It looks like their vault is what they call a control vault, which is one that was set up to be actually function the way that it was supposed to. So it's peaceful. Everyone's living a good life. The show is going to take place 200 years after the bombs have fallen. Okay. Everything kind of went to crap on the surface, and people are just trying to survive. There's mutations. We see a rad roach in one, which is a cockroach that's like 2 foot in diameter. I'm hoping to see super mutants. The government was working on something called the FEV, the forced evolutionary virus, which was to make super soldiers, but it actually turned people into these big green mutated monstrosities. So there's some other creatures too. The Yaogwai are like radioactive bears. You get to see that in one of the trailers, attacking a suit of power armor. There is power armor in it too. They had invented power armor before the war. There's a faction called the Brotherhood of Steel that uses it. That one of the main characters from the series is going to have a suit of power armor. So that's the basic thing, is that the world has gone to hell in a post-apocalyptic, nuclear wasteland. But then there's these people from the vaults that have been living a pretty happy life that are coming out and being exposed to this terrible world for the first time, and that seems to be the plot of the show. So,
gotcha. Yeah, it sounds interesting. So I'm definitely going to enjoy watching that and see how that turns out. I think I mean, there's two things with these kind of like video game properties that they're making movies of. One is like for the folks that have played the game, it's like seeing it on the big, seeing it come to life, I guess in a live action format. And then for those of us that don't, it helps us to kind of introduce us to the property and maybe there's some stuff that's a little bit more surprises for us than the people that kind of know the lore of this stuff. But did want to point out a couple things from the comments. Sounds like Kevin went through a pretty bad flood, had some issues. So I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin. That sucks. Definitely been dealing with that the last few months myself. If you need somebody to chat with, let me know. So yeah, our thoughts are with you on that. Had some folks here talking about Godzilla. Mark Rivera and Eddie both said that it was awesome. So yeah, check out Godzilla. People talking about Dune. I have not seen the second one yet. I do want to get out to see it at the theater, but I do hear the second one is really good. So my thing for Event Horizon that I wanted to pull up is, let me see if I can share my screen here. If I can click the right buttons. Tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern, which is 1,300 hours out there for you military type folks. D13 Toys online, so that's d13toys.com, is going to have their Easter chocolate angels on sale. So you've got the chocolate angel with vanilla wings. You've got your chocolate angel with your pink wings. And then you've got your white chocolate angel with your chocolate wings. So these are cool. Chris was talking about them last week on Shooting the Shelf. He broke the news that these were coming out as exclusives. You're also going to have a chance to get the demons that were available at Legion's Con in that sale. So, some of these are limited quantities. As far as the angel ones, that chocolate one with the pink wings is the exclusive. So you can only get that one if you buy the set of those 3 angels. And then when it comes to the demons, it's the pink one there that is the exclusive that you only get if you buy the set of the demons. The other ones are all available individually. So if you just want one, you can get those with the exception of those 2 exclusives that I mentioned. So check those out. I know those demons have been very popular at several shows over the past year. And the rest of his, Kickstarter Biblical Adventures should be coming out very shortly. We should be seeing those soon. So looking forward to that. But anybody here picking up some chocolate angels this weekend?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
I actually like if you would have just told me, hey, I'm gonna make chocolate colored angels, I would have been like, Chris, you're absolutely nuts. What kind of drugs are you taking? But they do look cool. Like something about them just does look cool. And I do like the soft goods. He showed them off on the show the other night, and it does have like wired around the cuffs of the sleeves. It's wired around the bottom. And like you can see like that one in the middle has like that cross-armed pose. So you can see they got a lot of articulation in here. It's kind of cool. Like it's not something I ever would have thought I needed, but it's kind of cool. And then, who doesn't need some cool demons? So,
right. Especially Neapolitan ones.
There you go. So not sure how long supplies are going to last. So make sure you check that out tomorrow before you catch Saturday Day Live. Check out Chris's sale, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. All right.
So this is an in-stock sale? Or?
Yeah, he said not all of the quantities will be in stock. He will have some more for like, I guess, some shows and things like that. But there's, I can't remember what percentage he said, but there's a portion of them that will be available on the site tomorrow, and those will all be in stock.
Nice.
and then shipping over the next however many weeks. So
Now, do the
Um,
same rules apply to shipping where if you send him a message, you're getting put at the very end of it?
yeah, I would imagine so. And I think the same rules apply as do with anything you buy from Legion Shop or anywhere else really, which is that if you don't get your shipping in a timely manner, message Jeremy Gerard at 3:00 in the morning, tag him in a post in the Cabal, and that is how you will get your answers. So so check that out because I think that'll be fun. Ryan, you got anything for us that's coming up that you're interested in, whether it's show, movie, toy, anything that was revealed recently that you're excited for?
So I am actually excited for Beetlejuice. I saw the little teaser.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that because I love Michael Keaton and everything that guy does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see him get back and basically cut loose because Beetlejuice was just a guy who didn't give a shit, essentially. Just did whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I
But
think we talked a little bit about that last week. If just when I heard there was going to be a second Beetlejuice movie, I was like, I don't really need that. But then I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh, Winona Ryder's back. Oh, Michael Keaton's back. And then just the way that they did that trailer, I don't know. Obviously it's just like a 50-second clip, so we don't know how the movie's going to actually play out. But it looked pretty freaking creepy. Like it actually, like that's one of those movies that I liked as a kid, but as I try to watch it as an adult, I don't know that it holds up super well. But it feels like they're putting a really creepy spin on this, at least with the initial teaser trailer. So, and Keaton looked like legit terrifying as Beetlejuice in this teaser trailer. So
I hope they lean into the horror a little more.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what
so. That would be awesome. So, Alexander or Joe, did you guys see that, or is that something that you're interested in at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, but I don't need to. Beetlejuice is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Nice.
And, I'll watch it sight unseen. That's how excited for it I am. So, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So time will tell how good the movie is, but I think the fact that they brought Winona Ryder back and Keaton back makes it gives it some, it gives it some legitimacy, and then so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And Beetlejuice is the bad guy, that's kind of the point of the movie, so he's not nice, and he wasn't doing nice things for nice reasons, like he's the bad guy, and that to me is what's the entertaining part of it,
for me it was like there was parts when I was a kid that I was like, oh, that's kind of scary or whatever in Beetlejuice, but for the most part it was like just kind of a silly movie. And then they did that cartoon series where he's really just like he's kind of a decent guy, like he's just having fun and whatever, he's funny, and so it kind of took it out of it for me, where I was like, I didn't really see Beetlejuice as a scary character, but I saw that teaser and I'm like, oh man, he looks pretty fucking scary. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it does look good. Kevin had brought up here, can we talk about the new Frazetta Girls piece, Them Thighs? I can talk about it because I have probably deleted 6 posts in the Cabal today, because we don't want it in there or we don't care about it, or I have some axe to grind against Frazetta. But we don't need, everybody doesn't have to post the same damn picture. We get it. It's for sale. So I left the one up that Eamon posts because he actually worked on the line and he's got some more details. And if somebody responds to it or asks a question, I feel like his post is the one that's going to be the best. But we don't need, 6, 7 more posts with the exact same picture saying the exact same thing. So just, I don't know. This isn't supposed to be a Cabal admin rant, but hey, if it's not actually a Mythic Legion piece, we're not saying you can't have something that's Mythic adjacent in there, but you don't need to put if you scroll a little bit first. And I understand probably somebody went online and said, oh, this shit's for sale, I need to go post that. But check the cabal first. If there's 7 posts already out there with the same thing, you don't need to make an 8th one. That, just FYI. But that all being said, Trevor's pictures look amazing. The figure looks cool. The cat with it looks awesome. Yeah. It's a good piece. I will say, I think just overall look, I think this looks better than the previous piece that they did. The previous piece, I felt like, to me, looked a little too shiny of the plastic. It looked like the early Super 7 days. And then the articulation, it didn't look like it was going to be a great articulated figure. It kind of was like the Motu classics in terms of articulation. But this one looks pretty good. This one looks pretty awesome. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I do like the look of it. I do like the fact that you're essentially getting 2 figures, 2 quote unquote high-end figures for $70. That being said, I did not get the Dark Wolf. I just passed on it.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't get the Dark Wolf either. And from the people that I saw that did get it, it was like, it's okay. Like I didn't see anybody that was like, man, I wasted my money. But I also didn't see anybody that was like, man, this is figure of the year. Like that was I'd never heard the term figure of the year thrown in with that at any point. So I think it was just kind of mid. So we'll see. But this one looks phenomenal. So
the thing I thought was weird, somebody I forget who posted it, but when you articulated the feet, it actually showed the skin tone in between the foot and the top of the boot. What? Wouldn't you just paint that?
I don't know. or cast it in that color and then just paint the top of the boot part on it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, but yes, that is out there. It's available for pre-order right now. Trevor did some amazing photos. She does not look like she's blue at all. He must just reserve that for his horseman pictures. So yeah, check it out. And if it's something you're interested in, get on that pre-order train.
Yeah, she's a good looking figure if you're a fan of the property.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you just want a badass looking female in your collection. She definitely can cross some different lines and based on that scale. So Alexander, you got anything for Event Horizon? Anything that you're looking forward to, be it toys, shows, movies?
I am looking forward to the Borderlands movie.
Okay.
Big Borderlands. I've played every single one of them. It looks absolutely insane, just like the games. I'm just hoping they bring some of the writing in from the first 2 games. Because the writing was phenomenal. It's a shoot 'em up looter game, first person shooter.
Okay.
But when I heard that they were going to make a movie out of it, I was scared. But then after I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, this looks insane. It looks good. So for you guys that are more gamers than I am, if you have a property that you really enjoy, like in terms of story in a video game, would you rather have a series or a movie? Like, what would be your preference?
I
think you can do more.
Go ahead, Alexander.
Sorry.
What's that, Alexander?
No, go ahead.
I think you can do more with a show than a movie. You can, I don't want to say you can turn them out faster, but I feel like there's a wider spectrum of what you can do with a show instead of a movie.
I mean, obviously you have more time to develop characters, to tell that story, but there's also the flip side of it that, like, sometimes, and like the best example I have is like the Marvel series. There's some of them that they made like 8 episodes or whatever that it's like, man, this really could have been like 4 episodes, or it could have been 6. Like there's some extra junk thrown in there to like stretch it out. It's like, man, I don't know that this needed to be a series. But yeah, if you're trying to tell the story and develop the characters, I think you're right. I think the series obviously gives you more time to do that. For sure.
With a game like Borderlands or like with Fallout, there's so much in each of those games that you could take it into a show and do the little filler episodes to give fans the Easter eggs, the little nods to the games. So
yeah. Joe, I know you've had a couple different video game series that have come out. I mean, are you happy with them being on a series, or would you have rather seen it something on the big screen?
I think the series is a better format. To use an example, like anybody that's seen a movie based on a book, you always hear the same thing. Well, the book is so much better. Well, yeah, because the book has more time to get into what the characters are thinking, more details, their journeys are slower. I'm a huge fan of video games. I play a lot of RPGs, and it's because that storytelling pace can be so much slower that you really get endeared with a lot of the characters. I'm sure you experienced that with Baldur's Gate 3, that by the time you get to the end of the game, you actually care about some of these characters, and it's because you spend so much time with them. And that's where I think a show has an advantage over a movie, is just the amount of time you have to develop it, unless you have like a Lord of the Rings situation where you can just spend 24 hours, to do 3 movies.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of Baldur's Gate 3, I was just thinking what I wanted my next, run through to look like, because like it was, and I went right back into it. It wasn't like, so yeah, I get what you're saying. That makes sense. And I do know though, like with Halo, you had said that maybe there were some people that were fans of the Halo video game series that weren't happy with some of the changes that they made to make it more of a live action series. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that it's a first person shooter. So in the game, you're Master Chief. You're playing Master Chief, and you're Master Chief the entire game, and for this entire series of 6 games. So to step away from that, like in the game, Master Chief never takes off his helmet. Or if he does, the one time that he does in 4, you don't see his face, just his eyes. I saw an interview with one of the original Bungie developers that said the reason that they never had him take off his helmet is because they want you to feel like you're Master Chief. You're living the adventure through him.
Right.
So when you get into a show and you're having someone else play a character that is essentially you when you're playing the game, it's tough. It's hard. And Halo has a lot of super fans too, and I think we're seeing it a lot with Star Wars now. When you have super fans that they have such a strong opinion of what the property should be, that any variation from what they think it should be is bad, and that's an unfortunate take, because different doesn't necessarily mean bad. I love the games. I love the show for as far as Halo goes. For 2 completely different reasons, it's still the universe that I love, So that's my thoughts on it, anyways.
And the thing with the whole argument of, like you said, like that fans like want it exactly the way that they think it should be, and there's no deviation, is that no 2 fans think it should be the exact same way. Like not only do they all have these very strong opinions, but they're all different too. Like, so you can't even get them to agree on what they would like to see. So you're never going to make everybody happy. But yeah, I mean, of course, just like you said, of course, like, in a movie, you're not going to be able to go into as much detail as a book. Same thing as, in a live action series, you're going to have to make some changes as opposed to a first person shooter video game. You can't.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and if you take like Fallout, for example, a lot of the games the main characters are people from a vault, you know, and the game is completely centered around them. My favorite Fallout game was New Vegas, and the main character is the mailman. I mean, he's a courier. That's it.
Okay.
But he's a bad dude, you know. And so everybody has their own favorite things, though. You know what I mean? Like the vault dwellers and everything are a lot of people's favorite characters. I like the mailman. So, you know, everybody has their own opinions, but I really feel like crapping on properties that you like isn't a good way to get them sustained and get a lot of new material for them.
Yeah, that's true.
If you love something, support it. You know, maybe you don't like everything, but there's a good chance that you won't like nothing. So, you know, which is what you're going to end up with if you're always crapping on the stuff that you love.
Yeah, and I won't get into like huge spoiler territory, but you know, Eddie said something about, you know, preferring to keep Master Chief keep his helmet on longer. And I will say there's a good portion of season 2 where he not only doesn't have his helmet, he doesn't have his suit. And there was a few of those episodes where I was like, man, I really would like to see him like have a suit and be fighting, kicking some ass right now. But that being said, then when it got to the end of that season and like he is kicking ass, like it hits even harder. Like it's like he, you know, he comes in like and it's badass. So yeah, I was a huge fan of how they finished out season 2. So
yeah, and I did see an interview with one of the executive producers, and it was a budget thing as part of the reason, like not the suit thing, but like Reach was its own video game. The Fall of Reach was its own game. The reason that part was so short, no spoilers, but you know, it's a pretty short, was budget. They said they just couldn't, the show didn't have the budget to do the full Fall of Reach. So, you know, there's limitations on what they can do. It might not even be what they wanted. You know, I even heard about Game of Thrones, you know, that there were seasons like something with a battle at a castle, you know, that they had to cut really short because they just couldn't afford to do what they wanted to do with it. So unfortunately they had
a pretty big budget for their series.
Yeah. And they still you had to pick and choose, you know.
Right.
I'll be right back.
All right. Cool.
So but if you love your property, I can't say this enough. If you love a property, support it. Even if it's not done exactly how you like, we're not going to get more if people don't support these properties.
And I don't think there's something wrong with saying like, hey, I liked, you know, A, B, and C, but I didn't like X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But still, you know, don't just run it down. So
exactly.
Exactly. Ryan, you had something?
Going back to preferring the series over the movie, I do prefer the series because you can let the characters breathe, but sometimes, not all the time, they do go a little too long, where if you think it could be done in 6 episodes, they give you 13, and I just feel like they're running in place most of the time. Right. Like you don't need these filler episodes just to throw them in there because it never furthers the story.
I mean, as far as these video game ones, I think the only one that I've seen that was a series that I thought, man, I think this probably could have been a better movie was the Twisted Metal one. And I liked that, but I felt like it did drag a little bit. Like there was some moments where I was like, I think they could have made this a 2.5 hour movie and it would have been a lot better. But for the most part, I do agree that the series are pretty good.
Ryan, you're an anime fan?
I am.
And you're complaining about them dragging things out?
That's I'm talking about all of it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm kidding.
No. Across all platforms, they do that shit. Like Dragon Ball Z was the fucking worst with that. Like you get a bunch of action one episode, and then the next episode, it's just them screaming and powering up for 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dragon Ball Z?
Dude. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I know the one that always hits me is 2000X Masters of the Universe, like they would sit there and spin their weapons for like 5 minutes before they actually would attack anybody. It's like they spend more time spinning their weapons than they did actually using their weapons. So,
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, when I was younger, I thought that was cool too. Them spinning their weapons. You rewatch that as an old man, and you're just like, "Come on,
Yeah.
can we move this along a little bit?"
Yeah, you just want like Indiana Jones to just shoot him. Just like
Right,
you know.
right. You know,
Yeah.
like I've got some Geritol
Yeah.
to take. Let's
Right.
move it along.
All right. Well, I guess Jesse might be with us in a little while once he gets back from D&D. So we'll go ahead and go into our topic of the show, which was to discuss a property. And we initially said toys. Joe added video games, and I think we just basically said whatever. Some property that you would like to see get a live action or animated series or movie, and why. So it sounded like Joe kind of already had an idea with this when we were going. So I'm going to start with Joe, and then we'll wrap our way around. So Joe, what property would you like to see get either a live action or animated series or movie, and why?
So it's sort of a video game property, but it's actually originally a role playing property. So when Dungeons and Dragons was in
Artesian.
their third edition of the show, or of the show, of their books, third edition D&D, they stopped that and moved to fourth edition. Well, there was a group of creators that had worked on third edition that didn't want it to stop, and it was an open game license. So they took that license and went and created a role-playing game called Pathfinder, which is basically third edition expanded upon.
Okay.
But it was their own thing. They had what's called an adventure path. It's basically a long form. It was 6 magazines. It's like a long form adventure. You take your characters and you play through this adventure from first level to 20th level. It's basically a whole campaign in a book. And then the video game company Owlcat took Pathfinder Kingmaker and made it into a video game. And it is one of my all-time favorite video games. And I would love to see it continue from role-playing game to video game to series. I think it would just be a fantastic property. It would be, it's kind of a slow burn story-wise, and I think that would fit really well into like a television series where it's just a group of adventurers in the beginning, you know, going out and exploring this land and trying to get rid of some bandits. By the time you get to the end of the story, you're fighting gods. You know, it just keeps expanding, and the story keeps carrying more weight, and the characters that are in it are so well fleshed out and so interesting. It's something that I'd love to see portrayed in a series, especially with the quality of series that we're seeing nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any recollection or knowledge of that property, so but it sounds like something that would be interesting. So
it's kind of niche because the game is based off of the rules system, and the rules system is very complex. So a lot of people were, I want to say, intimidated by it, because you can go in, if you're new to the system, you need to set it on a lower difficulty and get a feel for it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you know how gamers are. The people are like, I can't play it on the hard difficulty. This is dumb. And you know, for me, it was easy because I was familiar with the role-playing game. I already knew the rule system. I could just step right in and play on you know, the core rules difficulty and have a fine time. with it. And so it's not to the level like Baldur's Gate 3 was designed to be a broad audience game. You know, they even changed the rule system to make it work much better for a video game. That's not necessarily the case for Pathfinder Kingmaker, but the storyline is so good and the voice acting was incredible. It's not fully voice acted. You have to do a lot of reading, but Owlcat is a smaller company. You know, they can't afford to have it fully voice acted, but the storylines were so interesting and the characters, it was just like what I was talking about. I mean, I played it for over 100 hours. And by the time I got to the end, like I really cared about these characters. I felt like, you know, you're going through the ending and you're like, man, I lost a group of friends, you know, that I was spending time with, you know, daily. So, and I feel like the show could be along those lines too, you know, where some of the NPCs and stuff are so endearing that, you know, people would get attached to them. And it would be but it would have to be a series. It's not something that you could pack into a movie. There's just to get the feel of what it is. You would need that time, you know, for it to cook.
Gotcha. That's cool. Any thoughts on that one, guys?
I don't know the property that well, so I don't. But it sounds interesting.
I would watch it, but yeah, I didn't know anything about it either.
It's pretty niche. Yeah,
it sounds fun.
I do have a collection of miniatures from it.
Oh, so, very nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Very nice. Ryan, you are up next. What property would you like to see get made in a live action or animated show or movie?
So I also went video game after
Joe changed the rules.
Yeah. So I know it's been out for a while, but I've been playing it. I'm like 60 hours into it. Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know if you've heard it, but I would love. I know they can do it in live action, but I would love to see it in animated so they can do more physical stuff without like where it actually, because you can do more with animation. But it is a great story. It's about the Mongols invading the island of Tsushima before they go to the mainland, and the samurai are there to stop it, but they are wiped out and there's one left and he has to kind of go, the Legend of Truth. He has to kind of do some not so savory things in the eyes of the shogunate and to kind of keep his people from just being wiped off the map. And there's a lot of tension and drama. I think it's a good series, and I think it would work as an animated series.
Yeah, that's
if you get a chance, I would look up some videos on YouTube, even like the scene parts,
like the cutscenes.
Are just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something that I would definitely check out. I mean, we've talked numerous times on this channel about Blue Eye Samurai, which was just freaking amazing. I watched on Netflix, and I know it wasn't super popular and it was canceled early, but the series Marco Polo. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but that was like very much that, you know, with the Mongolians and this and that. And that was really good. And then right now I just started watching Shogun on Hulu, which is phenomenal. So
fantastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've not played this game, but I was just kind of looking up some pictures and listening to what you were saying. It sounds like it would be cool. Yeah, for sure. Be right up, you know, along the lines of those other shows. So cool.
Yeah.
Alexander or Joe, either of you familiar with that game or have any thoughts on that?
I think they need to release it on PC. That's what I think. You know, so I'm a PC gamer, so I'm aware of the game. I would totally have played it and probably will when they finally get around to releasing it on PC. looks fantastic. The game is beautiful.
It does look really good. Haven't played it. I've seen like people play it online and stuff, but
Dope AF. There you go. All right, Alexander, that brings us to you. You're
so
up.
I have two.
Okay. Well, give us your main one, and then we'll go around and do kind of an honorable mention, and you can hit us with your second.
I guess I'll go kind of like along with Joe and Ryan. I think an Assassin's Creed series would be a fucking amazing.
Okay.
Just because I mean you could have it as a series, or if you do it like movie by movie, just the different time periods that it jumps into, and then in my mind, like I don't know, does everyone know what Assassin's Creed is? I'm guessing
I've played a very small little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay, so they're at the Templars versus the Assassins, and they're all after the Apple of Eden, or the Spear of Jesus Christ and all that. But I just imagine jumping in and out of the different time periods at the end when they're trying to race to get to the apple. But just having those different time periods and the different assassins and stuff, I think that would be amazing.
Well, and then they've done a couple different versions, like they did the Valhalla, right? And they did something else. There was another
Origins. That was the Egyptian one.
Yeah.
Odyssey was like the Greek goddess.
Yes. Yeah.
So like having those different.
If you did it as a series, you could do it to where like each season was like a different time period or different genre. Yeah. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Or do like one episode, like hour and a half episodes, almost like mini movies.
Gotcha.
Where each movie or each episode was a different part of a game.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I think it would be amazing.
Cool. All right. What Joe and Ryan? What do you guys think of Assassin's Creed series or movie?
I was a huge fan of the older Assassin's Creed. I haven't played any of the new ones, but like the first three were incredible. And I agree. I think done well. They did have
because they are making one. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah, because they kind of dropped the ball on the movie. It wasn't so much that people were crapping on it, is that it was just not good. The Assassin's Creed movie was not good. So they could definitely do better. And I think a series is the way to go with that one for sure, because the property's fantastic. Yeah.
I liked the movie for what it was. It definitely wasn't like what I thought it was going to be. But like I said, it was a different aspect. It was a different assassin. I think if they would have made it a tried and true like first Assassin's Creed movie where it was Altair, and with that storyline, that would have been fucking amazing. But
right. It just the modern day stuff is what got me on that one. Like the shift is weird. Like I again, it just seemed like maybe it wasn't thought out really well. They just all of a sudden they're in the modern day doing all that stuff. I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Gotcha.
But it's a fantastic property. I would love to see it done well. Yeah.
Well, we're to me, and I did follow the rules. So I went with the toy line because that was the initial setup before Joe decided he was just going to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
We changed the narrative. It's not me doing what I want. I changed the narrative.
Well, my second choice is toy line. So
I mean, in fairness, Joe was on the center of the couch, so it is about him on this episode. So, but no, I actually chose Silverhawks. For those of you that know me, know that I love my Silverhawks, even though Brian Flynn pisses me the fuck off. But I love my Silverhawks, and it was one of those series as a kid that I felt kind of got cheated a little bit, because a lot of those in those early 80s, they would actually like make 2 seasons like almost at the same time, and they would make them like 60 something episodes each, so that after 2 seasons you have enough episodes to be in syndication, and you could, make that money off of the, the syndicated, replays of it and stuff. But so you're like your Masters of the Universe got 2 seasons, your Thundercats got 2. A lot of those series got 2 seasons of like 60 something episodes. Silverhawks only got 1. They made the 1 season, and they, I guess the plan was like they would see how it did, and they would decide if they wanted to make another one. And I don't know what happened or whether the ratings weren't good or whatever, but they only got the 1 season, so we only got the 60 something episodes. Within those 60 episodes and within the Toyland that they made, they created, in my opinion, one of the coolest group of villains that any show has had. Like, they had so many good, just like the different gimmicks for the villains, I just thought were so cool. And it didn't feel like in Masters of the Universe, it felt like, you had Skeletor and you had all his like minions, and they were just like working for Skeletor, but they were never like the main character, the main bad guy. It was like Skeletor was always the main bad guy. But with Silverhawks, it did feel like as you went through that season, and you would have an episode with like Mumbo Jumbo, or an episode with Poker Face or Buzzsaw, like they would be like the main bad guy of that episode, and it would take like the whole team to take that bad guy down. And so I really like that, and I loved the space aspect of it. I think an animated series would be cool, but I would really like to see a live action series. And the reason why is I think, seeing some things like Guardians of the Galaxy, seeing Halo just recently, I feel like you could do a Silverhawks in a live action and make it cool. So I would like to see what that would be like. And the reason I say series instead of a movie is because they do have such a good rogues gallery of villains that I think you could kind of do just kind of a one-off episode for each, like do each of the villains. It wouldn't have to be this, I know the big thing is nowadays that you have to have this storyline that goes through like the whole season, that, like you keep progressing the story. But one of the parts that I liked about the cartoons and stuff as a kid was that most of the episodes were just individual episodes. They didn't, like you had a reset at the end and you started the next episode. They didn't talk about the shit that happened in the previous episode. They just went on to the next thing. And I think it would be cool to see that in a live action adult series, is just, have each episode be like one fight against one villain, and then you move on to the next episode and kind of do the next thing. So, yeah, it's just a property that I feel never really got the love it deserved. And I would like to see it. So there you go.
Nice.
And then I would break it in half. No. No. So what do you guys think? Am I crazy? Silverhawks, would you be down for it? Yes or no?
I would be down for it if they did the vac metal armor.
There you go.
Live action vac metal armor.
Yeah.
Live action vac metal. Joe?
It'd have to be CGI because you can't film chrome.
Gotcha.
We'd see everybody behind the scenes bouncing off of the armor. Yeah. I mean, episodic. Just episodic storytelling is kind of a lost art nowadays. I think that they feel like if there's not a cliffhanger at the end of each episode, that the people are going to come back and watch. And maybe that's true. Attention spans might be getting shorter, but there's a certain art to that, episodic storytelling where you just wrap up everything in a whole episode and then move on to the next one. It's great for syndication because if you miss an episode, it doesn't matter. Right. You're not missing out on things. There's a lot of positives.
Well, and I liked when an episode was called like a name of the episode and not just episode 4, episode 5. Like it actually had, like, the episode had a name and it was important. It was like a single story. It's like a little mini book,
Right.
So Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go around and do some honorable mentions then. We'll just go in reverse order. And I'll hit, kind of what like Alexander was saying with the Assassin's Creed. I felt like the Warcraft movie, kind of the same thing, where it was like, I appreciate it for what it is. But as a huge, World of Warcraft fan over the course of my life, for not only just the hours of enjoyment, but also bringing me my lovely wife, Darla, who doesn't care if I spend $150 on a throne and an action figure I don't need. But there's a ton of great stories in there. And I felt like the movie that they put out, while I do appreciate it for what it is, and I think they did a great job, like with the orcs look amazing and just the fight scenes are really good. I just feel like there's a lot better stories to be told. And probably the one that I would want to see the most would be like the basically like the Rise of the Lich King. So seeing Arthas, go to, basically doing what he feels like he needs to do to save his people, and based on that becoming the villain, it's a very good story. And I feel like that's one that would make an excellent movie. I don't think you would need to do it as a series. But I think that they could do some movies like that was like a one-off, tell this story, a one-off, tell that story. And that's probably the one, if I was to start with a Warcraft movie, that's the one I would have started with. I think it's compelling enough that even somebody that wasn't a World of Warcraft fan could have gone and watched that movie and really enjoyed it. So that would be my honorable mention. Alexander, you said you had another one.
Yeah, I was going back and forth with them. I was gonna say Gargoyles right away, but there's a live action movie or show in the works. It has been for like a year or so, but it honestly still boils down to two.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize to Ryan and Joe if this was going to be one of yours. It would either be AWOC or Rumble Society from Mezco.
Okay.
And the thing is I don't own any Mezco, but those characters, I feel like they just lend themselves to like some sort of live action heist movie or something. I don't know, something like that.
I'd be down for that.
Oh
I
yeah.
like it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ryan, you got any honorable mentions for us?
So I was gonna say AWOC.
Nice.
Go ahead.
But I would actually like to see I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ronin Warriors or Samurai Troopers.
Mm-mm.
I would love to see a live action version of that. It's another basically samurai genre, but they mystical armor that they call, and then they have to fight. I think his name is Tulpa. It's been a minute since I've watched it, but I've been on a samurai kick lately, and
It's a good kick to be on.
yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of good stuff to binge if you're on a samurai kick for sure. So cool. Joe, any honorable mentions for you?
Yeah. Well, Dusty brought up The Legend of Drizzt. I read the Dark Elf trilogy when I was a teenager, and I think that could be made into a series of epic movies like Lord of the Rings, style, like just 3 big, fantastic, high budget movies, and then it would be a huge hit because that story is super interesting. Especially starting out, like he comes from an evil society, so like at the beginning, it's the hero character isn't a hero right from the beginning because he's caught up in this like evil society where they just do things in a bad way, and that's just their culture. And then progressing through it, going to the surface and being around humans and finding a different way and things like that. it's really good. It's really good, and I think that would be fantastic. But that's not my pick.
Okay.
My pick, and this almost took the top spot over my niche Pathfinder Kingmaker, is Diablo.
Okay.
The Diablo games are, the storyline is so good. I'm not even a huge ARPG fan, but
Mhm.
the storylines and it's messed up. It would be definitely an adult story, not for kids.
Mhm.
With, bad things happen to good people and things like that. And I think that would be an incredible series. It'd have to be on like HBO or something, but it's really good.
Cool. We do have a couple comments in the chat. Obviously, Dusty did say Legend of Drist is the correct answer. I don't know. It was opinions. I don't know its correct answer, but it's a answer.
He was supposed to, or he might be making an appearance in the next Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Gotcha.
The sequel.
Nice.
Dusty said Mask. Mask would be kind of a cool one. I could see that. But let me know, Dusty, if you were thinking as an animated series or live action. I think either one would be kind of cool. Eddie says he'd like to see a Thundercats movie. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. Jeff said his first pick would be Centurions, which I had some of the toys. I think they had a cartoon too, but I don't remember it. So I don't know.
That's the one where the stuff would clip onto the armor, right?
Yeah. They had like all the attachments and stuff. I don't know that I know enough about the story to know whether that would be a good series or not. But I mean, shit, I'm a nerd. I'm down for anything. So, JG says my first pick would be Mark Bodie's Cobalt 60. The Zack Snyder film was sadly canceled. I have no idea what that is. Anybody? We don't know, JG. So tell us a little bit more because we have no clue.
If we're going strictly like 80s series,
he did. He said it's what the Wizards animated movie was a ripoff of. Okay,
gotcha.
I still don't know what that is either. So, all right. And then Dusty says, "Give me all the samurai anything." So he's with you, Ryan. Anything that you recommend, Dusty's there for. So. Jeff says honorable mention Cops and Gundam. Dude, Cops would be fucking sweet. I love Cops and Crooks. I'd be all over that. They're another one that had a great rogues gallery. And then the Cops had all their kind of different gimmicks and stuff. And
Isn't
set in the
Ramen
future.
making more of those?
What's that?
Isn't Ramen making more of those?
I don't know about Cops. I didn't see anything with Cops. I know they did the Centurions, and they were working on Mask. I don't know about them doing Cops. If they are, I'm fucking all in because I love Cops. I thought that it was so great. And then the one Christmas that I was looking for all the Cops characters and stuff. My dad made this joke when he was trying to find them in the store that you can't find a cop anywhere when you need it. And he just loves that joke. Like he must have told it at like several different stores and he thought it was the funniest thing. Even to this day, he thinks he's just hilarious based on that joke. So
pretty good. Pretty good.
And I got a couple more here to mention from the chat, but joining us after buffering in the multiverse, we got Chris Kelly.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Sorry, I just got back from a hockey game with the kids, and somebody had too many hot dogs and put a little racist strip of puke down the side of my car on the way back. So,
Man,
the old hot dog puke. Gotta love it.
Just can't have anything nice,
I do have one more here. Mark Rivera says Gargoyles live action would be cool. And then Dusty says Cops was a fun show. Yeah, Cops was amazing, man. That's one of those that a lot of those early like 80s, 90s cartoons, like you go back and watch and some of them don't hold up. I think Cops holds up. I still think it's good. But Chris, now that you're here, hit us with your property that you'd like to see made into a live action or animated series or movie.
I think I've got the perfect one. So I've been thinking about this since we had our chat the other day as to what we were going to do for the show, right? And I kept going back. All the stuff that I love had a cartoon. It had a movie, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, man, what is it? I went through a whole stack of books that I read. Nothing really fit the bill. And then I started thinking, I was like, in the 80s, we would
Mhm.
get these amazing board games, right? Now, and I don't know what you guys did before this, right? So I'm hopping into
Mhm.
this cold. We'd get these amazing board games, and they would have these incredible commercials. And
Mhm.
then you'd think about these visions of this story and all this cool stuff that's going to happen. And then you open up the board game and you're like, oh, this is kind of lackluster, right? But you're trying to get your head into it. I don't know who remembers the board game Cannonball Run, right? Or Fireball Island. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, right?
Yeah, that was a movie. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Fireball Island.
Fireball
Okay.
Island, right? Now, to me, I could picture this being like uh, its own take of Indiana Jones, right? See, the problem with here, that's another good one. I kid you not, that was on my short list, right? Indiana Jones, right? Everybody talks about, oh, it can't be a new Indy, right? We can
Mhm.
change the actor, right? I could see Fireball Island being Indiana Jones, but
Mhm.
without Indiana Jones, right? There's no argument about, oh, we had to change the actor, this and that. That
Mhm.
game, those commercials, like it immersed you into where there'd be such a cool story of trying to get through the island, steal the jewels, make it back off the island. That would make an awesome movie, you know? So I was trying to think of toy properties.
Mhm.
Not a lot of toy properties, especially with the 80s. There's so much that I thought I had one too. I came up with Battle Beasts, and then I started Googling just because I wanted to make sure that there was nothing that they had from a TV show. And it turns
Mhm.
out in like 2015, Takara in Japan came up with a Battle Beasts TV show. But yeah, I'm saying Fireball Island would be an awesome movie, and very Indiana Jones inspired. But
Mhm.
if Hasbro was wanting to redo, a real Hasbro cinematic universe, they could do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Battle Beast wouldn't be out. I mean, I picked Silverhawks, and clearly they had a show. I was thinking like kind of a new one, like a
Yep.
new whatever. So I think that would be fine too. But the Fireball Island sounds cool. I don't recall the game, but just the way you described it actually feels like it fit with Joe's one with the kind of the D&D, like where he was talking about like these
Mhm.
adventures and stuff.
Mhm.
Like I could see his show and your show kind of merged together, like
Yeah.
in like a that way. I think that would be cool to see, kind of a D&D adventure party thing in your Fireball Island setting, trying to work their way through there. That would be kind of cool.
One of the cool things about that game, and what's funny is growing up, I never had the game, but I had a neighbor who did, and it was one of those buddies who I'd bring toys over, he'd bring toys over, so you end up spending, just as much time with it as if you had it. And it was this huge display. I remember it being like the largest board game display I had seen as a kid, and it was a three-dimensional terrain, and it very much was a cool dio. And I remember thinking how cool it would be to play with my Joes and the army men on it. And it conjured up so much thoughts of not getting run over by the boulder, and I'm like, this would be an awesome series, or movie. There's not a lot that hasn't been done, but I feel like that's one of them that could be pretty good.
Now I got to ask, Joe, was that your dog in the background barking?
Unfortunately, yes. I apologize.
Okay, so I just want to show you. This is what a good boy looks like. Okay. Just so you know, this is it right here. Okay.
My big dog ripped the doggy door off earlier.
Yeah.
So we had to board it up. So they're used to being able to go outside whenever they want because of the doggy door. But since she tore the doggy door off, she can't get out now and starts barking.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure you knew what a good boy looked like. So
how boring.
Yeah. It's great. It's basically like a little mini me, like just wants to sleep on the couch just like me. No, Fireball Island sounds really cool. I like that idea. So You were talking, because I wouldn't have even thought to include board games, but my favorite board game, I don't even know if you call it a board game, but like a game like that when I was a kid. I don't know if you guys remember this, but crossbows and catapults. Do you guys remember that?
No.
You would have to like set up these like each side got like a castle, right? So you had like a castle that you had to build, and it like had little pieces, like the little blocks that you built to make your castle. And then each side had a set of crossbows and you had a set of catapults, and you would launch shit at the other person's castle and try to knock it down. And the first person to like knock the other person's castle down like won. And man, that was just a fun game. It was, I don't know that, like I said, I don't know if you call it a board game because there was not like a board, but it was one of those that came in that box like a board game set. And yeah, it was a fun one though, man. So I don't know that would make a good series or movies, but just when you were talking about board games, I was like, man, crossbows and catapults was fucking awesome.
There was another one I was thinking about. Did anybody ever play Dark Tower as a kid? It was this tall electronic tower. And when I say electronic, I mean, I think this came out probably like 85, 86. And there was a couple light up things on the back of it. And, you took turns turning it, and it would tell you whether you had to attack or, what your character had to do. And it was another one of those things where we had to use our imagination so much. I was trying to think about things where, maybe we had our own thoughts of it, but now Hollywood or, one of these production studios could, take their own spin of it. And that was a game I only played one time ever at a camp, and it was really hard to even see the display because of the sunlight. But that was pretty cool. Back then, any game that had electronic pieces, it was like, oh my God, this game's electronic, it takes batteries, like it was mind blowing as a kid, when we were playing Chutes and Ladders and Mousetrap and all that stuff.
I wonder what game would make the worst series or movie.
I think we saw that already. It was called Battleship. That was a horrible movie.
I was just about to say that.
Did they make a movie of Battleship? Seriously?
Yeah. They did.
Rihanna was in it.
Yeah.
Who was in it?
Rihanna.
Oh boy. Yeah, that had to be fucking awful. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Hasbro had a line of Creos for Battleship, their fake Lego brand back in probably like 2010 to 2012, somewhere in there.
I think Chutes and Ladders would be pretty bad though too. But yeah,
they could make that into a horror movie.
Gotcha. Eddie says Operation would be awful. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like you bring in these just random people, and they've got to actually perform like do it like a Saw type movie where they have to perform surgery on like one of their loved ones or something.
Yeah. That's basically just the torture,
yeah.
It's almost like Dr. Pimple Popper, right? Can you get the thing out of the back while he slices the open?
All right, Van. We made Jordan drink too much alcohol, and we destroyed his liver. Now you have to give him a liver replacement, and if you don't do it correctly, he's gonna die on the table.
Just gotta have positive thoughts. That's all.
Yeah. I would watch that. I'm Eddie. I'm saying you're wrong. I think Operation would be fucking awesome. I'm gonna actually see if I can pitch that to some network now. So
FX will pick it up.
Yeah, that's true. All right, folks. Well, it is that time. I was hoping Jesse would be here by now, but he did not make it.
I just want to comment really quick. Those board games sounded like fun. I don't know where you guys got to play those. I had to play board games like Monopoly and Risk that were like watching paint dry. And to this day, I hate board games. And
I'm surprised that you didn't have to play board games like Dirt and Rocks, because I think those were the only board games that were around when you were little.
When I was a little kid, yeah. There was only one rock, and we had to share it. So.
The funny part about that is that I found out this week that me and Joe were born in the same year. So, So, yeah, it's not as much fun making old jokes when you know you're the same age. All right.
You also have
Well,
a lot
let's
more
go to
gray
the
hair than
theaters,
me,
folks.
Curtis.
Let's go to the theaters. We got our random number generator. We've got our typical years of 1982 through 2010. We're going to hit that generate button, and we landed right on 2010.
Oof.
That'll be a good one.
Wow.
So get in
alive.
your yeah, Ryan will actually be alive, so that's good. So we are going back to 2010. We're putting on our time machine hats or whatever it is that we've got, firing up the flux capacitors. And here's what we've got. We are going to March, October 29. All right, folks, here we go. Top 10 at the theater. We've got number 1, How to Train Your Dragon. Animated movie, first in the series of 3. I think they made 3 of those. Hapless young Viking who aspires to hunt dragons becomes unlikely friend of a young dragon himself and learns that there may be more to the creatures than he assumed. So then we've got Alice in Wonderland. This is the one with Johnny Depp. 19-year-old Alice returns to the magical world from her childhood adventure where she reunites with her old friends and learns of her true destiny to end the Red Queen's reign of terror. Then we've got Hot Tub Time Machine. Travis Bowles invites people over for the week. Oh, sorry, wrong. Nope. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Malfunctioning time machine at a ski resort takes a man back to 1986 with his 2 friends and nephew, where they must relive a fateful night and not change anything to make sure that the nephew is stillborn. Not stillborn, like he's like,
Wow.
he is.
Jeez,
born.
that was a dark
Yeah,
movie,
different
Curtis.
movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Next, we have The Bounty Hunter. Looks like somebody, Gerard Butler and Jennifer Aniston, maybe. Bounty Hunter learns that his next target is his ex-wife. Hey, win-win. A reporter working on a murder cover-up. Soon after the reunion, the always at odds duo find themselves on a run for their lives adventure. So,
Hey, when did Hasbro? No, not Hasbro. When did Disney buy Lucasfilm?
I don't know.
Because I would imagine their legal department would have been all over this one, the Bounty Hunter. You know,
Yeah. I just think it'd be great to turn your ex into the cops and get paid for it. Like man, that's a dream. We've got Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Greg Heffley is a 12-year-old who is fresh out of elementary and transitions to middle school, where military school would be a totally different movie, where he has to learn consequences and responsibility to survive the year. So then we've got The Last Song. Rebellious girl is sent to a southern beach town for the summer to stay with her father. Through their mutual love of music, the estranged duo learn to reconnect. That looks like Miley Cyrus and somebody. So, next we have got She's Out of My League. An average Joe meets the perfect woman, but his lack of confidence and the influence of his friends and family begin to pick away at the relationship. Number 8, we've got Green Zone. Discovering covert and faulty intelligence causes U.S. Army officer to go rogue as he hunts for weapons of mass destruction in an unstable region, also known as Jason Bourne number 7. Then we've got Shutter Island. Teddy Daniels and Chuck Owl, 2 U.S. Marshals, are sent to an asylum on a remote island in order to investigate the disappearance of a patient, where Teddy uncovers a shocking truth about the place. And number 10, we have Repo Men. Set in the near future, where artificial organs can be bought on credit. It revolves around a man who struggles to make payments on a heart that he purchased, and he must therefore go on the run before the said ticker is repossessed. Those are our
That made
10
the top
movies.
10, huh?
Wow.
We did. Yep.
This is the week that Hollywood ran out of ideas, huh?
So we've got Dusty is saying a lot of passes. So there you go. All right. He also said though that she's out of my league is an easy answer. So we're going to start at the bottom there at Chris and work our way up. So Chris, out of these 10 movies,
Oh man, the sad thing is I've seen most of them.
yeah.
But I mean, if I was going with my kids, I got to take How to Train Your Dragon. They've seen that movie so many times. We had a fish named Toothless because of that movie.
Yeah.
But if I'm just going by myself, I'm going to watch Hot Tub Time Machine. That's like one of those dude, where's your car type of, dopey comedies that, that at least has got some replay capability to it. Just some silly jokes. So I'm going to watch Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay. Hot Tub Time Machine for Chris. Alexander, what are you going to see?
I'm going to She's Out of My League.
All right. Because you want to see Joe?
Yeah.
An average Joe?
An average Joe, yep.
Average Joe Gonzalez? Okay.
I am anything but, thank you.
Yeah, you're an amazing Joe. All right. So we got one for How to Train Your Dragon, one for She's Out of My League. Rygon, what are you seeing?
I'm going with Alexander and Dusty. I'm going to see She's Out of My League.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 for She's Out of My League. Joe, are you going to see yourself in the theater?
I am not. I've actually never seen that movie yet. Seems odd that I haven't, since they're talking about average Joes. But I'm Hot Tub Time Machine is a fantastic movie. Alice in Wonderland I like a lot, but I'm going to Shutter Island.
Okay.
That's
a good movie.
I love that movie. It's so good. The twist and stuff at the end, it's a fantastic movie. I really like it.
All right. So we've got 1 for Hot Tub Time Machine, 2 for She's Out of My League, 1 for Shutter Island. I would say I'm going to kind of throw out a Chris Kelly, like if I was going with somebody else, here's what I would watch. If I was going with my wife, I would definitely watch How to Train Your Dragon because she loves that series. If I was going by myself, well, if I was going with Travis, I would see Hot Tub Time Machine. But if I'm going by myself, I do think I'm going to go see that Bounty Hunter movie and just fantasize about getting paid for arresting my wife or my ex-wife. That's
heard
like,
that one too.
Yeah, I just think that would be great. I've not seen this movie. It sounds like it's probably a comedy.
It's a rom-com.
Yeah. So the only thing is if they end up getting back together at the end, it would ruin the movie for me. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think I'm going to go see that. But I do agree that Alice in Wonderland's also really good. How to Train Your Dragon's good, but I wouldn't go watch that without my wife. So Darla likes that too much for me to see it by myself. So
I'm pretty sure the main character of She's Out of My League voices the main character in How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, really?
I don't know his name though.
Interesting.
Jay
So this guy here, this average Joe guy.
Yeah.
So he'd had a pretty big week at the box office then.
Yes, he did.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what we had here. So How to Train Your Dragon was on its first week. So was Hot Tub Time Machine. Alice in Wonderland was on 4 weeks. Everything was fairly new. Nothing was really lingering out there. And then as we scroll down, apparently Avatar had been out for 15 weeks at that point. Was out of the top 10.
I didn't see that movie in the theater. I actually rented that movie and saw it. And I was like, I'm one of the weird ones that I'm just like, I didn't really like Avatar.
Blindside was at 19 weeks and it was in the top 24, I guess. But that one didn't age well though. Yeah, so nothing really like significant out there. So that was this week in theaters. Let's see if we had any comments on here. Jeff said Repo Man was his choice. Great sci-fi on the run. Okay, I might check that out. I have not seen that movie before, but repossessing people's fake organs sounds like what I would call Operation the series. But I don't know. And Eddie says Hot Tub and Bounty Hunter Jennifer Aniston needs to be with me. Okay. I don't know that you can make somebody go with you, but all right. So yeah, that was this week in theaters. So we went through our main topic, we went through our event horizon, we went through our toy pickups, but we did have Chris join us late. So Chris, do you have any toy pickups that you'd like to show?
I have too many. So my comic shop is sort of my toy hookup, and he's been getting in a lot of stuff, and this is the only stuff that I have brought out of the car because I'm trying to limit how much it looks like I spent today. So I got the cartoon edition of Now. I will tell you, I have all the Origins ones, but then based off of the reveals that Mattel did this week, I'm like, well, I need to get these guys too. So I picked up Beastman and He-Man. Still got to pick up Tila and Skeletor, but I'm making my way through that line.
Question for you on those, because we had just talked about this on Legends of Grayskull the other night. Are you keeping those in the package, or are you opening those?
So I've kept them in the package thus far.
Yeah.
I think eventually I'm going to have like a Filmation shelf that I'll have those on. I don't think it'll go as deep as what I did with my Origins. But the other thing that I did that didn't come in yet is I went deep this week on the Super 7 Ultimate Sunbow Joes. So I'm almost caught up now. I got a couple that I still got to pick up from that newest wave that just came out. But I don't know, it's something about the cartoon looks to me that just they get me, when I see the Beastman, I'm like, that is the guy that I watched on TV when I was a kid, Like, I don't know. I'm weak for that. I'm weak for the cartoon looks. If I had to go through and get rid of stuff outside of Joe, if I had to go through and get rid of stuff, I think the things that look like the cartoons that I grew up with would be the things that would stay longer.
Gotcha.
And the Super 7 Ultimates Joes are not a great action figure, but they're a very good posable statue. That's kind of how I think of them. They are not a G.I. Joe classified figure at all, but they are good for what they are, and they look just like.
They look like they're right out of the cartoon.
Oh, they're so good. I can't wait for them to show up because I'm going to do similar thing. I'm going to do a little shelf behind me of, all the Sunbow looks. Kind of like in that end of the opening thing where they all kind of standing there, they got their hand up. That's kind of what I envision I'll have behind me. So for classified, I got the retro card Wakando.
Mine is on the way, has not got here yet.
He looks really good. And I was very surprised. So my comic shop, I think he deals with Entertainment Earth. He's been getting in solid cases, which if you go to Target, if you go to some of the other retailers, this guy is shipping in a case with Duke and Scarlet. Instead, he only got a straight case of Wakando. So when Duke and Scarlet show up to the comic shop, he's putting those aside for me. But if anybody who picked up the Tiger Force versions from Target, it's the same figure. I don't think there's really much different. But it's nice to get them in that original coloration. And who doesn't love it on the card?
I saw somebody say that I think it was on one of the G.I. Joe boards, said that they felt like he was a little bit bigger than the other figure. Like they maybe bulked it up a little bit, but I didn't see that in the promotion photos. It didn't seem like it, but you think it looks pretty much the same size?
Yeah. At first look, it looks the same. I mean, if they were to bulk it up, where they would bulk it up would be most likely in the legs. That is the same torso.
Okay.
So maybe, I can pull that out. Maybe they used a different leg for this, which gave it a little bit more height. But no, it looks very similar just looking at it in the package. And the other thing too, it comes with stands. Like
Stands.
2024, they should all have stands. Like I'm tired of buying stands, and let me tell you, I've gone through all the stands, right? So Curtis, the rectangle ones that I told you to buy, those are the best ones for the classified. I used to buy the NECA stands, then I would steal the McFarlane stands from other things. Nothing works as good as Amazon has these rectangle stands that I use for all of my classified. And I don't have one handy here right now. They're the best. You get like 50 or 60 of them for $20 on Amazon. But I really feel like today, I mean, this is a Hasbro owned property. They're not paying, licensing fees on this. Give us a stand and all the packaging. It's funny. I tried asking Lenny about that. I had a way of asking him a couple questions, and that is the one question I didn't get back.
I had let me throw this up here because you weren't here earlier, but I got a couple classifieds in, and one of them was Quick Kick, and I got him on this like flight stand or whatever.
Oh yeah.
This one, and it actually comes with an extra arm attachment, so you can make it even higher or bend it. These are on Amazon as well, and they're 8 for $16. It's like, yeah, I mean, and they're very sturdy. Like I've gotten several. I've got a lot of Mafex, and I've gotten a few Mezcos. I would say this stand is as good, if not better, than those in terms of like how sturdy it is. And like I said, you get 8 of them for $16. So I agree with you that like if you need some stands, there's definitely a lot of different options on Amazon that will fit that bill. So
yeah. I mean, just search in the groups, right, and you'll see a lot of posts. That's a great stand though, because NECA sells a flight stand similar to that at Target, and I think it's $10 or $12. And you said 8 for $16. That's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Yes, I also had him sitting in my box.
Nice. And the candy bar.
And the fudgy bar. Fudgy bar, right out of the Sunbow episode. You know, it's funny. It's interesting. My comic shop guy, I love him, and he's so good, with my kids whenever I go in there. But he was so excited to tell me, he's like, "Do you know this is the only Joe that really had a true crossover with Marvel?" And I'm like, I let him tell me, and I had known that, but he was so excited. He's like, he trained with Shang-Chi. He's like, this is the only one. He's like, out of all the Joes, he's like, this is the most real one, because this one, yeah. So there was it was mentioned in some of the old comics how he had worked with Shang-Chi, and he is sort of the link into the real Marvel universe. So He was super pumped about that. Somebody must have been in there talking to him, so he was so excited to tell me that. And then I have the 30th anniversary figures. Now, I will tell you, these are awesome. These look amazing. If you want just a true military line, I mean, there is really nothing better. It comes with so much gear. 2 heads, so much good stuff. A soft goods, overcoat.
And I could see my reflection on it, so that looks really good.
Your reflection on it, right? Oh, who doesn't love the reflection? Problem with this though, these are $35. So like, when you're buying a bunch of stuff, 2 of these guys, $70, like that, it hurts. I understand. I still think it's a good deal. Especially when you think about like, comparing it to the Valaverse.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That feels very much like a Vala hold my beer kind of moment. So, I mean, the amount of shit you get in there, and it does look, if you're, like you said, if you're going for that real military look, this has got it. So,
yeah, I completely agree with you. And there's been so many comparisons one way that I feel like in a way this is a response to some of that. But as cool as the infantry soldier was, and the action soldier, my comic shop guy, he said he got 2 cases of them. He said that if he didn't put this aside for me, he said they would have all been gone in 3 hours. He said he's never sold any of these figures as fast as that. So, yeah, he said he put it up on our local Facebook page, and he said they were all gone that afternoon.
I mean, Joe's are hot right now.
They really are. That's why I'm glad I have a pull list.
Got full time on OffWorld. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Then the diver. I got the diver. The diver I was really excited about. I feel like this would be like one of Torpedo's buddies.
Yeah.
And again, the 2 head sculpts. I got to go back and get another one of these because you know, at some point, you know, I wanted to have a couple of these guys. But like I said, $35 a pop. It's going to be a little slower than I had originally wanted. I know some people who pre-ordered these the day they went up on Big Bad Toy Store, got them for $25, and Big Bad had made a mistake and they honored it, and that's awesome. But yeah, the regular price on these is $35. So that's what I picked up today. Other than some comics, I don't know if anybody's reading the current Duke. The Dukes and the Cobra Commander offshoot comics that they have right now are really, really, really well done. Actually, just about everything there from, you know, the Image. I also been reading Transformers mainline and the regular G.I. Joe book. Really well done. It's, yeah, I think for Joe, this is like the 4th time through of them changing, you know, who the publisher is, and you know, the mainline book still has Larry Hama. You know, this is issue 305. I've been reading this since I was a kid, around like issue 18. So it's nice. It's the same story. Although Larry has forgotten a few things over the years as to who he's killed and who's still alive, but
yeah,
you know, it's neat
Haven't
that
we
that
all,
continuity.
really, you know, I mean, life goes on and you forget who you've killed. I mean, that's a very common thing. So
Could you imagine changing employer like 2-3 times and you're still doing the same exact work? That's got to be crazy for him, you know. You know, from IDW, Marvel. He didn't do anything when Devil's Due had G.I. Joe, but it's just neat to keep that going, you know.
Well, speaking of Joe's being really hot right now.
That's hot.
But Chris, I could not have you on here on an episode of 2.0 and not talk about the Vamp.
Yeah, I got it right behind me, actually.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to talk about the Vamp.
All right. So, has anybody played with one yet?
No.
So first off, we'll start with Clutch is awesome. He is so good. I hear complaints about the bent shotgun. Okay, it's bent. The reason why is because the plastic that Hasbro uses in order to sell it, you know, for 3 and up, it has to have some pliableness to it. But this is an awesome figure.
Is that not something that can be straightened out with just heating it up, or is it just when you go to pose it, it bends again?
You know, it was a little bent coming out of the package. I heated it up a little bit, and then when I posed it, it's been sitting there for about a week. It's now bent again.
Gotcha.
So I mean, there's other places that's, you know, sell, you know, weapons and stuff if you were really upset about it. But the figure itself is fantastic. Yeah. He's Jack, man. He's a Staten Island mechanic who got cat. You know, he's going out to the bar to hit on everybody's ladies. I mean,
But,
it's like, you ever seen anybody bend a shotgun? Well, look at this. Wow, man, that is impressive.
So this thing is so freaking cool. Now, there's good and bad with it, right? Getting the bad out of the way, everybody's complaining about the same exact stuff. The guns, there's these ammo boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of sit in there. They don't really lock in. They just sit there. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really rolling around on the floor on the carpet with this thing. So it's sitting on a shelf, so it doesn't really bother me too bad. But that is definitely something that people are complaining about. There is the other complaint is there's no foot pegs on the side. There are places where like a foot would stand, but there's no pegs to really like peg it in and have a guy stand on the
Okay.
side. Those are the two real complaints, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, this thing is freaking amazing. I would tell you that this is a better value than the Hiss tank was. You know, the Hiss tank for, you know, what was it, $300, right, with all those figures. This to me is the same quality. It doesn't have any lights on it, but it really is just as good. When I see something like this, it really gets me excited for what are the other things they're going to be able to do with this line, because this was just a very generic, bland vehicle when we were a kid. I mean, this came out in '82. This was just a Jeep to have the guys drive around in, and it's that good. So when you think about some of the other more interesting vehicles that the line has had over the years and how cool they could be in this scale, honestly, it makes me wonder where I'm going to put everything, because this is so cool. I had bought two because I also have a problem with you know, figuring out, oh, okay, yeah, that'll fit. Well, two of them on a Billy bookshelf is going to be a little on the tight side. You know, I haven't opened the other one yet. I mean, there's so many little details. It's got in between here, you see it's got a fire extinguisher, you know, hanging from there that you click in.
What's on the back?
What's on the back? It's got the gas cans.
Oh,
it's got like a fire axe,
Yeah.
right? These are all loose. They just go in just like the original one does. What's really cool though is, you know, just like any good community, like third-party people have already started, and they have you know, roll bars for the back. They have,
the collector here saying Gridiron Studios selling some pieces that you can upgrade your vamp, and I saw some of that too. So my question with that real quick with you is, like, are there, when it comes to these like third-party add-ons and stuff, like, do you feel like any of them should have been on the vehicle initially, and are there any that you're like, man, this is one that I really got to get to upgrade this thing? Like, what are your thoughts on those extra parts?
So this is the Vamp 1, right? So the Vamp Mark II came in like a desert color, and it had a rocket launcher on the back of it, right? And I know some of those upgrade companies like Gridiron are doing stuff like that. I will tell you, yeah, blue tack, that's a good idea. I will tell you, I don't think that's something that they're not going to do. Like, I think they saw how fast this sold out, right? And you know, I think they're going to be like, listen, we have the mold. Let's give them all the different versions, right? I totally think a Stinger is coming. I totally think a tan Vamp Mark II is coming, because there's going to be people who just didn't get this one just because they're a little late to the line. And come on, we all know Hasbro, if they can sell it twice, they will, you know? So if they can sell it 3 times, it's even better. I'm sure that they built that into their tooling costs when they think about allocating that cost down the line. So I think some of those other variations that some of those third-party companies are doing, it's great for the customizers. It's great for the people who want it right now. I'm in the party of, well, let's see what they come out with. And if in a couple years they haven't come out with anything, that's where I'll try to go grab one of those parts. But I still think that it's something that we'll probably see right from the source, and I can't make it look as nice as Hasbro can. And I kind of hold off on a lot of customs for that same thought too, right? Like I have, especially with the modern era, I have pulled apart so many figures and tried to paint and customize to make a character, and then what do they do as soon as I finish it? They announce that character's coming out, and then there you go, you got a $60 custom that doesn't look anywhere as good as the new figure that's coming out for a third of the price, or even less.
We do have a question from the chat. Curtis Ackerman says, when are we getting a Cobra Wolf?
Man, that would be good. That would definitely be cool. That's pretty deep into the line though, to get a Cobra Wolf. Let's talk about what would you want before the Cobra Wolf? There's got to be a couple more iconic things that we would see before then. You know,
I like for me, I wasn't a huge Joe guy growing up, but I always liked not only just within Joe's, but in any line, anything that was like snow related. I loved, because then when it got to that time of year and it snowed outside, man, I was taking all that shit out there and I was playing in the snow.
Yep.
And so any kind of snow vehicle, I'm gonna be all for. So that's what I'm holding out for. Because I mean, listen, space is a commodity, and we all have our lines that we're collecting, and some of this stuff, I collect the Mondo Motu, like that shit takes up a lot of space. So I don't have room for a bunch of vehicles. So I think the ones that I'm going to get are going to be the ones that fit that snow theme, and that Wolf that's my number one for sure.
What about an Arctic Hiss? I will tell you, I have seen some of this Q&A lately where, well, actually, so there was a podcast I was listening to the other day, AIC, what does it stand for? Adventures in Collecting is the podcast, right? And they had Lenny and they had Emily on, and they made a comment on that podcast that I thought was very telling. They said, with what they know today, the Hiss tank would never be a HasLab again. And the way, I probably said that wrong. The way they said that is there's far more demand, and it's far easier to sell that product than what the HasLab model would be. It's almost like they completely underestimated the demand of the line and of the collectors to be able to support it. So that to me says, hey, I think our next HasLabs are going to be even farther down the line as far as what we'd expect and what you can get for the money. I mean, I now think that they're thinking that these, what were small to mid-size G.I. Joe vehicles, are now completely, something that could be sold through the online and the Hasbro Pulse channels, that you don't have to make this a HasLab anymore.
Right. It doesn't have to be like a campaign to get the money. You're going to make it anyway, so just sell the thing. Yeah,
just sell the thing. And I think there's a part of them that now, having gone through this for a couple of years, thinks, hey, we could have sold way more Hiss tanks if we just made it, a public offering just with pre-orders. So I don't think they're going to do it right away, but I do think at some point they're going to say, you know what? Let's take the electronics out. Let's make a few tweaks. Let's change the color, and that's going to be out there. So I don't have any inside information on that. That's just me reading the tea leaves with some of the comments that they've made. Is I could totally anticipate seeing a Hiss or a Hiss 2 be something that is, going to get the same type of offering as this, maybe 2-3 years down the line from now.
I would say you take out the electronics, so you don't have like all the extra figures and all that other kind of stuff that jacks up the price, and you make it like an Arctic Hiss. Yeah, I definitely would buy that.
Yeah, so. That would be an Arctic Hiss at like 185. I think that's the perfect thing. If you're gonna throw a figure in, make it like 210, and I think you sell a lot of them.
And I tell you what, the first thing that I would do when it snowed outside is I'd have a 4-horseman ice troll fighting an Arctic Hiss. That's what that's what I would be doing.
That's an episode of a Sunbow cartoon right there. I mean,
that's exactly what I would do. So cool. So that was the toys that you had picked up this week. Chris, the only other thing that you missed on the show, we had done our event Horizon, which is just kind of talking about stuff that's coming up, whether it's toys, TV series, movies, anything like that you're interested in that, has like recently been announced. So do you have anything along those lines? Anything that you're looking forward to?
So I've been enjoying X-Men 97. I know that is a sensitive topic. Some people love it.
Jesse's not here. Actually, Jesse said he was enjoying it last week.
Yeah. He's coming around, right? Yeah. I told him weeks ago. I said, you're gonna like it, and he said he was. So the Star Wars Acolyte trailer, I saw that, and I'll be the first one to admit I'm not a huge Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
So one of my friends in town is a huge Star Wars guy. First thing I did was I messaged him. I said, "What do you think of the Acolyte trailer?" He's like, "No, it looks good." I said, "Who are those guys?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay, so we're at the same point. Like we don't know." And then I was trying to probe him. I'm like, "Where do you think this is in the storyline?" Right? And my whole conversation with him made me feel like he has no idea where it is in storyline either. Right? Because you see the young Jedi. So I'm like, is this a lead up to that Order 66? Like where is this in the story?
Jesse said last week that it's like 100 years before like Phantom Menace. Like, so this is like this is like way early.
So Old Republic.
Yeah. So we're not going to see any characters that we know.
Well,
yeah. So it'd be interesting.
High Republic. That's what it is.
High Republic. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, from what I've seen, it looks all right. Looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
it looks good.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
haven't seen it.
say.
I do see Dusty here says Boondock Saints 3. I had not heard that. If that's really a thing, I'm very leery. I love the first movie. I watch the first movie every St. Patty's Day with my family. We sit around, eat corned beef and cabbage, and watch Boondock Saints. The second movie was fucking garbage. It was so bad. Like, if you wanted Rocco to be in another movie, don't fucking kill him off and then make another character that's supposed to be basically exactly the same character. Like, don't kill him off then. The second movie was absolute horse shit. So if they really are making a third movie, which I haven't heard yet, he says it's officially announced. I just hope it's not the same fucking garbage that 2 was. So I guess we'll see.
See, the first one was so good. It's one of those movies I felt like didn't need to have another movie.
No.
I agree.
You know?
I mean, I could see where it left off because you've got the father and the 2 sons like going off on this journey where it's like, okay, it'd be cool to kind of see what happens next. The way that they executed it was terrible. It was just terrible. So
I feel like this week there's been a lot of fakes though, because I spent a half hour 2 days ago because somebody had posted, I saw it on, I forget if it was Facebook or Twitter or whatever, that there was a Heisenberg movie coming out as like a Breaking Bad thing with, and I'm like, oh my God, I would love it. I loved Breaking Bad. And it turns out I think that's another fake. So,
okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, I loved Breaking Bad series. There's a couple like that, like Sons of Anarchy was another one where it's like I really enjoyed them, but it made me like super stressed out to watch it, and like I would finish an episode. I'd be like, man, I don't like feeling this way. Like it doesn't make me feel like I enjoy the series, but I don't feel good. So I've been trying to watch more shows that I just, I don't know. I feel happy watching. So, but yeah, I would probably check it out and make myself miserable. So
yeah, that was something that we went through with, what is it? What's the show? The Handmaid's Tale. My wife and I, that was like a pandemic thing. She wanted to watch it. We were taking turns with series and stuff like that. And I remember watching the first episode of that show. I stood up and there's a rape on the first episode of the show, and I'm like, I can't watch this. Like I'm getting mad. Like this is making me physically angry. Like as a man, somebody who I am, I'm trained to fight that and stop that. Like I cannot watch this. And she's like, sit down, you're fine, it's a TV show. And that first season was really hard. Once we got through that, I really enjoyed it, but I can understand what you're saying. Like you get so into the experience of the show that it affects you emotionally.
Like it's such an immersive show that you feel like when in Breaking Bad where like everything's closing in on him and like you feel like you're in that situation. It's like, man, that sucks. That just sucks to be in. Like, I don't want to be, which is why when I watch a series like, I'll just throw out an example is like Ted Lasso. Like, it's such a good, heartfelt show, and he's such a fucking great guy. Like that, to where like the people around him that were assholes at the beginning of the first season, like by the end, like they're good people too. Like, and you see, like, he's just such a great character and such a great person that he makes all these other people better around him. And like, you watch an episode and you're like, man, I feel good about myself. And that was fun. And I enjoyed it. It's like, those are the kind of things that I like that have a lot of rewatchability. So, but yeah.
Anyway. I got a question for you guys. Something came up this week in this house. Have you guys hit app saturation yet? Like, how many apps are you guys paying for to watch things? Right? Like, so we're a sports household as well, right? Major League Baseball started, this week, right? My kids are like, Dad, where are we going to watch this game, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's on YouTube TV. Nope, not on YouTube TV, right? Then I start researching. Oh, if you want to watch that team, even though it's a local team to us, you got to go get this app because it's not on YouTube TV. Well, there's another local baseball team. I'm like, well, okay, well, guess what? We're going to watch the other one. Nope, if you want to watch that team, you got to go download this app, right? And they're all $20 a month, it seems, right? Then here's the real irony, right? I gave in. I got one of the apps for the boys because they wanted to watch these games.
Mm-hmm.
Today's game, they're like, Dad, can you make sure we can watch today's game? I'm like, you got it, buddy. What was the game on? Apple TV. A totally different app from what I just paid $20 for the other day. And I, what? Maybe it's just me getting old, right? But I'm like, I miss just regular cable now because it used to be everything was on there. It was like you sprung for HBO or Showtime or Skinamax, and then like you could watch whatever was in your local market, right? I feel like I have hit app saturation. I actually started tallying them up with my wife. I'm like, how much we're paying now? It's like you go through. It's like we've got YouTube TV, we've got regular YouTube, which is free, right? Then you've got Hulu, Amazon Prime. We've got Tubi on there, which is free. We've got now this Yankees app. We've got all this stuff. And you reach a point you don't even think about what you're paying for anymore. And Disney Plus and this and that. Paramount.
Peacock, Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Like everybody's got an app now. But at some point, I feel like most of us are going to hit the point where it's like, all right, it's too much, and we need to like push back on it because, Apple TV. There's just there's good stuff out there, but you never get your money's worth. You can't watch all of them, right? But I just wanted to know if that was just something happening in my crazy household, or if you guys are having those conversations too.
I would say that had we had this conversation yesterday, I would have disagreed with you. I would have said, there's a lot of apps, but we also have more choice than ever before. We've got great series on these things. Like, some of the movies that we've gotten on some of these streaming services have been better than movies that we used to get at the theater. That being said, today I ran into a situation so it's interesting that you bring this up. I've been watching The Rookie on Hulu, right?
Great show.
Good. Yeah, it's a great show. I'm really enjoying it. We had Pete McCarthy on Shooting the Shelf about a month ago, and he recommended it. And so I'm watching it, and I'm in season 5 right now. And so they have this episode where they bring in this like FBI lady, and they start doing like this whole thing. And I'm like, this is clearly going to be a spinoff. Like, you can just tell by the amount of time they're spending on that character. Like, this is going to be a spinoff. So then, that episode happens. And then like 3 or 4 episodes later, I'm watching the episode. And before it starts, it's like, this is a 2-part with a crossover into the other series, which is Rookie Feds. I'm like, okay, so now if I want to continue the story that I'm watching, I've got to go and watch Rookie Feds. So I go to I'm still on Hulu, and I go into the search and I'm looking for Rookie Feds. Guess what? They don't fucking carry it.
Nope.
So then I'm like, I do my typical thing, which I go to Google and I'm like, okay, where is Rookie Feds streaming? And it's like, it's not streaming anywhere unless you pay for it either the whole season or you pay by episode. So then I've got to go and find which fucking episode I need that crosses over with the series that I actually want to watch, so that I can see the people that I want to watch in the series that I want to watch in this other series that I can't find. And I got to pay $1.49 for the single episode that crosses over, only to find out that they do like 4 of those different crossovers in one fucking season. So now I got to buy 3 more episodes. Yeah. So
I skipped all that shit. I didn't even bother. I was like, I'll just miss pieces of the story. I don't even.
And then I'm watching that episode with the Rookie Feds, and I'm like, I don't like these characters. I don't know these characters. I don't give a shit about them. They're not great at, like, I love Rookie, but the Rookie Feds, I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of these folks. but I want to know what happened from the previous episode. So yeah, and I will say that there's definitely a certain value from some of the streaming services. Jesse and I have talked at length about Apple TV, because they've just got a lot of great series. Like almost every series that I've tried to watch on Apple TV has been absolute fire. But then you've got, some streaming services like, HBO Max switched to just Max. I don't think I watch anything on there. I don't know that there's anything that I even so, to your point, like, why am I paying for that if I'm never watching that one? There's often not a lot of things that I watch on Netflix anymore, and I'm paying for that one. But then there's other ones like Hulu. I've been watching the hell out of Hulu lately. Paramount Plus, there's been a few things that I've watched. So I don't know that it's for me as much overload on apps as trying to do a cost benefit analysis of like, which ones am I actually getting the bang for my buck on, and should keep versus the ones that I'm not. And that's something that we probably don't do enough of, because we auto pay all this shit, and so we don't think about, oh well, this one's $5 and this one's $10 and this one's $18. But when you add it all up, it's like, shit, that's way more than I used to be paying for cable, that I was pissed off because I paid too much, and so I switched to this format. So yeah, it'd probably be beneficial to actually just kind of look at each one and say, hey, over the last year, what have I watched on this one, and has it been worth what I've been paying for each month?
Those are just the apps. That's not even the Wi-Fi service that you need to watch said apps.
True. That's true. Yeah.
And the commercials now, right? So I was watching X-Men 97 yesterday, right? And all of a sudden it hit me, because I feel like we have a shorter attention span than ever, right? I mean, I'm sitting there watching a show. I've got a smartphone in my lap, right? Commercial pops up, right? So what I do, I go to the phone, right? And it dawned on me that, hey, when Mandalorian first came out, like, I would watch the full show, and there was no commercials, there was no interruptions. You get immersed in it, right? And now they're putting commercials in these. But if you want to pay extra, we'll take the commercials back out, right? And oh man, I don't know why that really set me off, And I'm like, here's X-Men 97. I'm excited about it. The commercials are breaking up the flow of the show. But to me, it's not worth spending the extra few dollars, whatever it is, a month, for the extra payment to take the commercials back out. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel duped on that one. Like just taking something away.
I must have the updated or the upgraded one of Disney, because I haven't seen commercials there. But I have started to notice it on Amazon Prime when I'm watching a series or a movie or something. And it's like, I thought that's what being a Prime member was. Like, you get the best access, you get the free shipping, you get, like, you're Prime, man, you're the big guy. And now it's like you watch something on Prime and it's got commercials, and it's like, but now you got to pay, you got to be like Prime Plus or whatever the fuck they call it. It's like, okay.
And next year it'll be Prime Plus Platinum. Like, oh, I'm not platinum. I got the commercials back.
Right. The commercials keep weaseling their way into our TVs.
Pretty soon we'll be yelling at kids to get off our lawn. That's how I feel like this is happening. You know?
How about this? I pay for like 7 or 8 streaming services, and I don't watch TV.
That's true. I forgot you told me you don't watch anything.
I don't watch anything. So, you know, like I'll watch Halo or like Star Trek, but I usually wait until everything is out.
Yeah.
I'll watch like the whole series, you know, season in a day.
Mm.
And then it's months before I watch anything on TV again. It's all for my kids and my old ladies. So, yeah.
See, that's just because you're a good man. You're a good Joe.
I have heard of several people though, like rotating their streaming services to where, you know, they won't have, you know, Netflix for 6 months or something, and then they'll sign up for Netflix and binge watch all the shit they want to watch and then cancel it. And they'll do the same thing with Hulu and the same thing with this and that. Like they'll wait until a series is completely done, and then they'll sign up for it, binge it, cancel. I don't know. Maybe that's the new way of doing this shit. That's just too much work for me.
They don't have kids. Those guys don't have kids. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I tell you what I did, because my kids all have jobs now, which is fucking great. So like my son, I think this was like a year and a half or 2 years ago, he came up to me and he's like, I think we should get Paramount Plus. I'm like, yeah, why is that? He's like, oh, because they got all the SpongeBob episodes. I'm like, well, you got a fucking job. If you want to pay for it, here's what it is. and so like he paid for it. And I think you get a break if you pay for like the whole year up front. So he paid for the whole year. And then I found out that they had what was that? The Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. And I'm like, shit, I don't have Paramount Plus. I was like, oh wait, fucking kids got it. So that means I got it now too. He's using my Netflix, he's using my this and that. So there you go. That might be the answer for you. Get your fucking kids to pay for it.
as long as they live in your house, though, because now they're cracking down on everything. You need, it wants to know where your phone is to, you know, turn the apps on. That also drove me insane. I don't want to have to turn on my location on my phone just to, you know, turn the app on. Like, come on, like.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're at 2.5 hours. We hit all of our have-tos. I got a notice from Jesse, said D&D was running long, so he was not going to make it. So I think we're at a show.
You scared him away with that cover photo. You know that, right? There's no way Jesse was going to be on this episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw in the main OffWorld chat that we have, Jesse was like, "Is this for real?" And I'm like, yeah, aren't you glad you're not in the photo? He's like, absolutely. So yeah, I might have scared him off with the photo. But all right, guys. Well, it's been a lot of fun. Sorry Greg couldn't join us. Hope everything's going well for you, Greg. You know, hope that calzone was amazing. Thanks everybody for tuning in for actually the whole episode. We had more people in chat than we had on the screen. So thank you very much. That might be a first for us. And I guess we'll kind of go around. If anybody got I know Joe was on Legion's Lair this past week. So if you haven't checked that out, that is in the Cabal. So check that out. That was a great episode. Rygon has once again Saturday Day Live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
6 p.m. Eastern. Alexander, you got anything that people should be aware of? Anything they should be on the lookout for?
Got a show next month.
Which one is that?
Tulip City.
Oh yeah, that's the Matt Rodriguez one.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Doing that one with my bud Alex, and I'm working on a couple different fountains right now, so be on the lookout for those on my Instagram. And I think this weekend, all the new stuff that I had at MesquiteCon, I never posted the final products, so I'll be taking pictures of those this weekend and posting them as well. So
Okay. Well, yeah, if anybody that's in that area up north, goes to Tulip City, I think Matt said it's like $5 to get in. Kids are free. So, sounds like a fun time.
and they normally do like a raffle table for the kids. So like kids
cool.
get to win and pick up a prize off the table and stuff. So
beautiful. Chris, anything else that people should be aware of except for that you're paying for 1 million services just to watch baseball?
So I actually I noticed the other day there's a show here in Connecticut that the Four Horsemen come to. It's going to be on May 18th. I just noticed this, and I think it's called Shop the Curiosity.
Yeah.
And that's not that far of a drive for me. So I am going to start praying now that it rains like hell that day and they cancel Little League so I can spend the day at that show, because we just got our Little League schedules and we've got 2 games that morning and I really want to go to that show. So that's what, fingers crossed I get to go and see the Horseman booth.
So if anybody out there knows any good Native American Indian, rain dances that they could teach Chris,
start dancing now.
Weeks.
We need it. we need it. It's funny. I thought that show was on a Sunday. I think maybe last year it might have been on a Sunday, and I forget. We had something else going on, so it wasn't even on my radar that it would be a conflict with Little League. So so let's pray for rain that day, because I need to pick up some Cosmics,
There you go. All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, we'll see you on the Offworld.